Hi, my grade 11 students. We are doing now financial statements including adjustments. Financial statements of sole proprietor business including adjustments. In the last video, we have done accrued income and accrued expense. Accrued income and accrued expense. There we have discussed about how to record accrued income in the financial statements and how we record them in the general journal and ledger accounts. The other one is accrued expense. Accrued expense also are recorded in the financial statements and in the general journal and in the ledger accounts. We have finished these two adjustments in the last video. In this video, we discuss about bad debts and depreciation. Bad debts and depreciation. Bad debts. Bad means not good, right? Bad means not good. Debts means like loans, right? Remember, bad debts are created as a result of credit sales. As a result of credit sales. You know, in grade 10, you have learned sales journal. In the sales journal, we record only the trade items sold on credit. Trade items sold on credit. We enter the details in the sales journal. Finally, we get the total of the sales journal and we post them to the sales account credit side, the debtors account debit side we put. Why debtors comes to the debit side? Because debtors are assets to the business. They should pay money for us in future. We can collect money from these people, right? When we do credit sale, when the business does credit sales, debtors are created. They should pay money for us. Us means to the business. They should pay money in future. But the problem is this. After creating debtors, after selling goods on credit basis, business can create debtors. Debtors are the assets. They should pay money for us. This all are okay. But the problem is some out of debtors are unable to pay their payments to the business. There are different reasons, various reasons for it. Sometimes some people leave the country, right? And death of the customer, bankrupt of their business. So these are the different reasons to make bad debts. Finally, if they are neglecting their payment, if they neglect their payments to pay to the business, it is loss to the business. Business has to bear that loss. That loss is called bad debts. That loss is called bad debts. Go to the slide. Bad debts. If the debtors neglect their payments, due to some reasons, it's called as bad debts. It's called as bad debts. Then you can think, what are the reasons? Actually, what are the reasons to make bad debts? Why they don't pay their payments? Why they don't pay their payments? There are some reasons for it, right? Death of the customer. Death. Right? Death of the customer. Then how we collect money? Sometimes you can think, sir, can't we collect money from their relations, from his wife or children or from their parents? Like, actually can, right? Remember, even though they are also unable to pay this payment, That time we finally consider to neglect this payment to write off as bad debts. That is, that loss is called bad debts. Death. The other one is leave the country. Leave the country. Right? Leave the country. What are the other reasons? Leave the country. Then bankrupt of their business, losses. Right? These are the different reasons to make bad debts. Right? Remember, now debtors, you can see, if the debtors neglect their payments due to some reasons, it's called as bad debts. Right? Then double entry comes like this: bad debts account debit, debtors account credit. Bad debts account debit. Bad debts is loss, losses, expenses, and assets accounts. Generally, their balances we indicate, we record in those accounts debit side. Income, capital and liability accounts, those balances we record in the credit side of their accounts. Right? Then you think debtors are assets. Debtors are assets to the business. Right? Why they should pay money for us? But the problem is, some out of debtors are unable to pay their payments due to various reasons. That portion, that loss is called bad debts. So we have to remove that portion from the debtors and we transfer that loss to the loss account, expense account. That expense account is bad debts. I'll show you how it creates. Right? This is, you think, yeah, I draw a T account here, right? When I draw the full account here to just only for explanation, no? So it gets a long time. So that's why I draw only T account, but you know the format, full format of the ledger accounts, right? Only for the explanation I use T account, right? Okay. Now you think there's a debtor, right? Debtor, right? You know the debtor balance. How do you know? I'll tell it, right? Just imagine, right? There's a debtor in a business. The debtor balance is, you think, 50,000. How much? 50,000. How debtor is created? Through selling goods. Sales account credit, debtors account debit. You remember, yeah, grade 10 sales journal, right? After recording details in the sales journal, we get the total of the sales journal. In front of the total, we write what? Credited to the sales account, transfers to the sales account. Then sales account credit, debtors account debit. In the debtors account we write as sales, sales account we write as debtors, right? Here sales, I put here sales. Sales mean debtor account balance here, right? Sales 50,000. Right? Through selling goods we create a debtor value is 50,000. Now end of the accounting period, last date of the accounting period, right? The businessman calls and remember, right? So to that debtor, the businessman informs to that debtor to pay your payment. Please pay your payment, right? The problem is every time he says what? No money, no money, no money, right? Then finally, the businessman decided to write off. The value is 10,000, right? The total debtors are 50,000. This is the total balance of the debtors, right? But 10,000 out of this, right? The person who should pay 10,000 to the business, he is unable to pay. Now, business decided to write off that 10,000 rupees from this account because meaningless. Why? We have recorded 50,000, but the problem, we know well, we can collect only 40,000 rupees out of this. Why? The debtor, the value of 10,000 is unable to pay their payments. Then remember, 10,000 you remove. Then to remove, you want to put this 10,000 credit side, we write as bad debts. Bad debts. Now tell me, is this a loss or not? This is loss to the business. This is loss. Actually, this is loss, right? This is loss to the business. This loss is called what? Bad debts. Then if it is a loss, if it's an expense, we open an account as what? We open an account as what? Bad debts. Bad debts. Right? It's bad debts. Bad debts. That account comes to the debit side. There we write the debtor. Right? Now this is the double entry. Look at here, double entry. Here you see the double entry. Bad debts account, debit. Debtors account, credit. Bad debts account, debit. Debtors account, credit. It is called the double entry. Bad debts account, debit. Debtors account, credit. Why debtor accounts credit? Because we want to remove the bad debts portion, bad debts value from the debtor account. Normally debtor account balance you can see in the debit side. If you want to remove some amount out of this, you put them into the relevant account, credit side, relevant debtor account, credit side. That's why we put 10,000 credited. If it is a loss, loss of expenses comes to the debit side. So the other entry comes to the bad debts account, debit side. You must remember what's the double entry. Bad debts account, debit. Debtors account, credit. Right? Now, you can see the double entry I have given here, right? I explained here. Remember, bad debts account, debit. Debtors account, credit. If you want, you can write down, right, in your books. These are very important double entries, right? Okay, now go to the next slide. Example. Kitseri sold 8,500 worth of goods. 8,500 worth of goods. 8,500 worth of goods to Samira on 1st of January 2020, and Samira was unable to pay money to the business, right? Kitseri is the business name. This is Kitseri's business, right? Kitseri sold 8,500 worth of goods on credit, right? Samir, when they give the name of the person, you know well, it's on credit. 8,500 to Samir. But the problem is until end of the year, Samir was unable to pay that 8,500 rupees, right? Then Kitseri decided to write off this 8,500 as bad debts. What they ask? Remember, you know well, is any adjustment we have to record in prime entry book. The related prime entry book is general journal. After that we have to post them to the ledgers. Finally it goes to the financial statements, right? Now we'll do this adjustment. Finally they ask. Then Kitseri decided to write off Samira's balance as bad debts, give journal entries and ledger accounts. It should be accounts, right? Ledger accounts, right? Ledger accounts and extract of financial statements, right? Okay. Now I'll draw general journal and ledger accounts and financial statement, not the fully financial statement. Here I draw only the place where you can record, where you enter the details regarding the bad debts, right? Okay, are you ready? Draw quickly with me, right? Okay, now I draw general journal. You also draw with me general journal, right? general journal, not the big one, right? Small one is enough. Date, description, debit and credit, but we can add journal voucher, source document number. After that, ledger page also we can enter here, right? This is a general journal, but not only this, we need what? Ledger accounts also. When you draw the ledger accounts, now I use the full format because in your syllabus they expect the full format. How many accounts we need? 2 accounts. You know what are the 2 accounts? Debtor account and creditor account. Debtor account and not the creditor account, debtor account and bad debts account, right? Debtor account and bad debts account. Debtor account and bad debts account. Date, description, ledger folio value, date, description, ledger folio value. After that, they expect extract of financial statements. Here I draw extract, here profit and loss statement we need, right? The statement of financial position area also here we need. I draw only one column to show, right? Statement of financial position. Actually debtors we write under the current assets, right? Under the current assets you write debtors. Here profit and loss statement. There you remember bad debts generally we write under the distributing expense category. Distributing expense category. Why we write under the distributing expense category? Why we do the credit sales? To raise our sales income, right? To raise our sales income, to increase our sales. That's why we do the credit sales, right? You think about this. There's a person, he does only cash sales. He never expect to do credit sales. Then the people, those who don't have money, they also wants to buy goods, but the problem is that business does not accept credit sales. Then those people go to the people, the businesses, those who do credit sales, right? Then the other business sell on cash basis and credit basis. Now you think which business earns highest profit? The business, those who do credit sales and cash sales both, right? Then actually why the business do credit sale? To raise their sales income, to increase their sales income. The other side, they have to bear the bad debts loss, right? So that's why bad debts comes under the distributing expense category. It is actually marketing strategy, sales strategy, right? Okay. Now distributing expense. Distributing expense. Okay. Then you name the accounts here. Date, description, ledger folio, cash or value, right? I put cash or value, date, description, ledger folio cash. If you want, you can put as value, right? Now the next one, date, description, ledger folio cash, date, description, ledger folio cash. Now you name the general journal columns also. After that, it's easy to do the question, right? Here, general journal, right? Date, journal voucher, description, ledger folio, debit and credit. Okay. Now, remember, we read one time the question and we do how to record them in the general journal and ledger accounts and to the financial statements, right? The question is this: Kitsiri sold 8,500 worth of goods to Samira on 1st of January 2020. Samira was unable to pay money to the business. Then the Kitsiri decided to write off Samira's balance as bad debts. First of all, you go to the Samira's account. Why? Samira is the debtor. Samira is the debtor. This is Samira's account. Samira's account, right? Samira's account. Now, normally Samira's balance, any debtor balance, we write in the debit side. Then, what is the date? 1st of January, sales. How much? 8,500. This is the amount to be paid by the Samira to the business. But he is unable to pay, no? Then the decision is what? Kitsiri's decision to write off this 8,500 as bad debts. Then I use another color. I use red color. Is it okay? Red color, right? To write the double entry for the bad debts, right? Then you want to remove this 8,500 Samira's balance. It goes to the credit side, 8,500. Here, bad debts account debit 8,500. In the Samira's account, we write as bad debts. Bad debts account you write as Samira. When Kitsiri make this decision on 31st December. 31st December. 31st December. Right? Now the double entry comes how? Samira's account credit, relevant data account credit, bad debts account debit, bad debts account debit. Okay. Then remember bad debts. Normally bad debts account is an expense account. You know, expenses we transfer to the profit and loss statement, right? How much the balance? Balance is 8,500. 8,500. You know, in the last chapter, last video also, all the expenses and income we transfer to the profit and loss statement, right? Here bad debts is an expense. That expense also we transfer to the profit and loss statement. The value is 8,500. Here we write profit and loss statement. Is there any balance? Is there any balance in the debtors account? Sometime they will give total amount of debtors, but they write off only a certain amount of portion of the debtors as bad debts, right? Then remaining debtors we write under the current assets in the statement of financial position. But in this question, the fully value of the debtors 8,500, right? The problem is no remaining value, so no need to mention anything under the current assets only for this question, right? $8,500, both sides are equal, no balance carried down, no balance carried forward balance, right? Okay, now you enter these details in the general journal. After recording these details in the ledger accounts, actually first thing is you have to enter these details in the general journal. Later we post them to the ledger accounts, but this method is very easy, right? This method is very easy. After that we can enter the details to the general journal. Okay, now the date you put 12/31st, you know the entry which comes to the debit side, it comes to the first, right? Bad debts account, bad debts account, debit 8,500, debtors account credit, debtors account credit 8,500. Here we write the narration, right? What? 8,500 worth of debtors are written off as bad debts. 8,500 worth of debtors are written off as bad debts. Okay, now remember how we enter these details to the financial statement. Bad debts portion we record under the distributing in the profit and loss statement. Remaining debtors we write under the current assets. Here no remaining debtors, so we enter the bad debts only under the distributing expense category, right? We write here bad debts 8,500, that's only, no debtor value to record under the current assets because the full amount we write off as bad debts. I think you understood well, right? Now we go to the next slide. Debtor balance of Chamara's business is 50,000. Yeah, debtor balance of Chamara's business is 50,000. The date is as at 31st December 2020. 10,000 out of 50,000. Yeah, not the full amount. The previous time we did the full amount. We write off full value of the debtors. Here only the amount, half, not the half, only the percentage, right? They have given the value 50,000 debtors are there, but 10,000 out of these are written off as bad debts. Give journal entries and ledger accounts and extract of financial statements, right? Everything we have to do, right? Again, you draw now what? General journal, 2 ledger accounts, profit and loss statement only extract the area under the distributing. Statement of financial position, you write only draw only the area where you write current assets, right? Are you ready? Yeah, right. Now we draw general journal, how we draw? Right, date, journal voucher, description, debit and credit. Then ledger accounts, 2 ledger accounts, one is here, date, description, ledger page, ledger folio, value, date, description, ledger folio, value. Okay. Then you draw financial statements, what and what? Profit and loss statement, and only where you draw only the area where you write the distributing expense. The other one is statement of financial position. You write the area only where you write current assets, right? You give the names of each account. Here, statement of financial position under the current assets. Current assets. Now you write here profit and loss statement. Profit and loss statement. Under this we write what's the expense category? Distributing expense category. Distributing expense category, right? Distributing expense category. After that, quickly hurry up. You go to the two ledger accounts. What are the accounts you know now? Well, same data accounts, right? Debtors and debtor account and bad debts account. You name the accounts columns date, description, ledger folio, cash. Date, description, ledger folio, cash. Date, description, ledger folio, cash. You name the general journal columns also, then easy to do. This is general journal. General journal, right? Date, journal voucher, description, ledger folio, ledger debit and credit. Okay. Now you have to go to the question. They have given 50,000 worth of debtors. 50,000 worth of debtors they had, but 10,000 out of this is written off as bad debts, right? First you enter the details in the relevant debtor account. The balance how much? 50,000, right? 50,000. Debtor balance you write 50,000. They have given these details on 31st December. Balance. How much? 50,000. 50,000 debtors, right? If you forget the detail, you can see it, right? Debtor balance of Chamr's business 50,000 as at 31st December 2020. Yeah, this is the available balance of the debtors, right? Here they never mention about credit sales. In the past they have sold, but the remaining balance of 50,000 of debtors as at 31st December 2020. But the same day decided to write off 10,000 rupees as bad debts. If you want to remove 10,000 rupees from this, then what do you do? Debtor balance is here, right? Debit side. Then you remove 10,000 out of this. Then Debtors account credit side, you put 10,000. You put 10,000. Bad debts account debit, you put 10,000. In the debtors account, what you write? As bad debts. When you do this? When you do this? 12/31st, huh? 12/31st. Here, the same date, no? Right? Then, in the debtors account, you write as, in the debtors account, you wrote as bad debts account, you write as debtors. Okay. Right? Now, what you do? You want to balance off the accounts. You want to balance off the accounts, right? Then how do you balance off, right? You can balance off like this. Here, debtor 50,000. 50,000. Here 50,000. Difference 40,000. Actually, this is the available balance of balance carried down. How much? 40,000. Balance brought forward how much? 40,000, because we remove 10,000 out of this as bad debts. Right? Now you go to the bad debts account. Bad debts account. 10,000. You know, if it is an expense, if it is a loss, if it's a loss, losses and expenses, to where we transfer? Profit and loss statement. In the last video also, when you do the accrued income, accrued expense, that time also income and expenses account, to where we transfer? To the profit and loss statement. You must remember, every time income and expenses accounts balances end of the year, we transfer to the profit and loss statement. You must remember, we never bring those balances to the next accounting period. We bring only the net profit or net loss, right? Okay. Now, you have to record this double entry. You have to record this double entry in the general journal. I'll highlight now. Yeah, double entry here. What's the double entry? Bad debts, this one. Yeah. Debtor account credit. Bad debts account where? Debit. Just I highlight, right? Now you enter these details in the general journal. Right? General journal. First, you know, first time we write debit account, bad debts account, debit, how much? Only 10,000, right? Debtors account credit, $10,000. Narration. How do you say narration? How do you write the narration? 10,000 of debtors of debtor value is written off as bad debts. Right? Written off as bad debts. Actually, in the description area, you can use to write something, some words and those things, but I use this area, it's okay, no issue, right? If I write this everything in the same description, only in the description area, it gets long, right? Okay, I think you understood well. This is the second example, second activity, which comes under the bad debts. But can you tell me, we have to do more things here? Yes, yes. What are the more things? We have to enter these details to the financial statements. Financial statements. Now, you got the financial statements, profit and loss statement, we write only the bad debts. How much? Bad debts 10,000. Under the current assets, how much you write? 50,000 no, 10,000 no, 40,000. 50,000, 10,000 no, 30,000. What is the amount to be recorded under the current assets? You must remember, after removing the bad debts portion, the remaining balance of the debtors, 50,000 we had at the beginning, but we decided to write off 10,000 rupees out of this. The real debtor value is how much? 40,000. 40,000 debtor. If you want within brackets, if you want, right, 50,000 we had, we minus 10,000, so 40,000 we put here. This is the way, right? You must remember now, what's the double entry for the bad debts? Debtors account debit. Is it creditors account credit? No, no, right? Debtors account debit is the balance, right? Balance we write in the debit side, debtor balance we write in the debit side. Creditor balance we write in the creditor side, right? Creditor balance we write in the credit side. Creditor side is credit side, right? Credit side. But here we need only the two accounts to mention to record the bad debts. Bad debts account debit, debtors account credit. Bad debts account debit, debtors account credit. Debtor balance we write in the debit side. To remove bad debts portion, we enter that entry to the bad debts account credit side. Debtors account credit side, debtors account credit side, bad debts account debit side. Finally, double entry is this for the bad debts. Bad debts account debit, debtors account credit. Bad debts we write under the distributing expense category. Debtors, after removing the bad debts portion from the previous debtors, net debtor value you write under the current assets in the statement of financial position, right? Okay. Now, depreciation. It is the next adjustment, depreciation. Non-current assets of the business such as building, motor vehicles, furniture, computers, equipments, etc. are decrease their values when the business uses them. Remember, non-current assets. Non-current assets are the assets what the business purchase, what the business acquire to use in the business for a long time period. Think about computer. Why we purchase a computer? To use of the business, right? It generally we can use more than 1 year time period, no, computer, right? Buildings, vehicles also we use, right? So they are the non-current assets. What happened to these non-current assets when the business uses long time period? Yeah, when we use it, the value decreases. When the business uses these computer, buildings, vehicles, equipments, machinery, furniture, their value decreases. You know it well. Think about difference between second-hand vehicle and brand new vehicle. Brand new is good brand, it's a new one, right? But second-hand, right? Then they already used it, so the value decreases. The physically damages, appearance, right? Expired, and these different reasons are there, right? When the business uses non-current assets, their value decreases. The decrease in value of the non-current assets are called what? Depreciation, right? As a result of physical damages, expiring, decrease in the market values are the reasons for it. These are the reasons to reduce the value, right? Depreciation, cost minus residual value divided by lifetime. You don't know, you know the cost, you have a simple idea about the cost, but you don't know what is residual value, scrap value, and lifetime, right? So I'll explain one by one. Now, double entry, depreciation account debit, provision for depreciation account credit, you forget it. Huh? Yes, you forget it for a 1 to 3 minutes, right? Why? Until I explain what is residual value, what is lifetime, what is the cost of the property. After that, we can come back to the double entry. Okay, right? Okay. Now, examples are given, right? Cost of the machinery of Pathum's business is 500,000 as at 31st December 2020. Residual value of the same machinery is 100,000. Effective lifetime is 5 years. Calculate the depreciation for each year. Remember, residual value, scrap value. Simple meaning of the residual value, simple meaning of the scrap value means, remember, think about a machine. You have a machine. You can produce some products using this machine. The cost of the machine, it means you have paid 500,000 rupees, 500,000 rupees to the supplier to buy this, to acquire this machine, to purchase this machine. The price of the machine given by the supplier, 500,000, you paid 500,000 to the supplier, and now you have a machine. Right? Expected lifetime of this machine. Expected lifetime of this machine. Expected lifetime means how long you can use this machine. It's an estimated value, right? Time period. 5 years. Right? Expected. How long you can use this machine? 5 years. These details will be provided to you. Don't think about those things, right? In the question, they will give these details, right? So, lifetime is given, 5 years. How long period you can use this machine? Only 5 years. End of the 5 years, remaining part of the machine can be sold in the market for 100,000 rupees. If not, market value of the remaining part of this machine, at the end of the 5 years is called residual value. I think now you understood. Cost is how much you paid to the supplier, right? After the paying supplier, sometimes you may pay loading charges and carriage inward charges and fixing machine to the business place. These are all the cost included, all the expenses to be included to the cost. But here they have given only just price. It means the cost, right? 500,000. They have provided us residual value. Residual value means, market value of the remaining parts of the machine after the lifetime, right? So, then 500,000 is the cost. But we use end of the lifetime, if you have the value of the market value of the remaining part is 100,000, you used how much? Yeah, depreciable value is how much? It means how much the value you used out of this machine? 400,000 rupees, right? Then how many years you used? Only 5 years, right? Then we have to consider here To calculate depreciation, we have to consider these points: cost, effective lifetime, and residual value, right? These are the points to be considered, right? Now, next slide. Remember here, cost. Before you do the question, I explained you what is the cost, what's the residual value, what's the lifetime, right? Cost of the non-current assets mean the amount of money paid or agreed to pay to buy relevant property. Yeah, remember, sometime you can buy non-current assets on credit basis. Credit basis means you don't pay money at the same time now. You pay money later. But how much the value to be paid by you to acquire that asset property? That is agreed value to pay, if not you already paid value, is called cost. You must remember this. Sometime in the questions, they will give paid to the supplier 100,000, okay. Carriage inwards 10,000. Carriage inwards means after purchasing that non-current asset, you want to bear the transport cost, right? That transport cost, carriage inwards, also to be added to the cost, included to the cost. Not only that, loading charges, right? Fixing expenses, these all are included to the cost. Not only the payment for the supplier, right? That is cost. Cost of the non-current assets mean the amount of money paid or agreed to pay to buy relevant property and all other costs borne by the business to fix the relevant asset in the business premises, right? They have given some example for us: carriage inwards, import tax. When you import a certain non-current asset from foreign country, sometimes you may have to pay what? Import tax. That also to be included to the cost. Fixing expenses are included to the cost. It is the cost. Okay. Now, the next point is what? A business purchase a machine and following expenses also paid by the business. Remember, a business purchased a machine, the cost is 200,000 rupees. The cost is 200,000 rupees. It is the amount paid by the business to the supplier. But the problem is, actually it's not a problem, right? Right, the thing is, carriage inwards expenses is done by the business to transport cost 20,000. This cost also to be included to the cost of the machinery, not only the payment for the supplier, right? The other one is fixing expense. To fix this machine in the business premises, the business paid 30,000 rupees. Then how much the cost? 250,000 rupees, right? 250,000 rupees is the cost. 250,000 rupees is the cost of the machine. I think you understood well cost. If they have given import tax also, then machine related expenses, we can add it to the cost, right? Okay. Then total cost of the machine is 250,000. Now the next, effective lifetime. Effective lifetime is the time period of a certain property that can be used. That can be used by the business or number of units produced by using relevant property, right? Effective lifetime is the time period of a certain property that can be used by the business or number of units produced by using the relevant property. Example, a machine can use effectively 10 years. If they can use effectively 10 years, lifetime is 10 years, right? For their production activities, then lifetime of the machine is 10 years, yeah, right? Effectively, how long they can use the relevant property, that time period is called effective lifetime, right? Now, next, residual value, scrap value. Residual value, scrap value. I already explained it before. Remember, market value of the remaining part of the property at the end of the lifetime, right? So it is called scrap value or residual value. Residual value means expected net selling price of an asset at the end of the effective lifetime. Net selling price means this one. Net selling price means equal selling price minus selling expenses, right? Selling expenses, right? Net selling price means selling price minus selling expenses. Remember this. Sometimes you can sell a certain product means at the end of the lifetime, remaining parts of the vehicles, you think you can sell it, that parts of the vehicles at the end of the lifetime, 100,000 rupees, right? To sell this for 100,000 rupees, you have to put the advertisement somewhere in paper advertisement, right? That paper advertisement cost is 10,000 rupees. To sell that remaining parts of the vehicle at the end of the lifetime for 100,000 rupees, not the 400,000 rupees, for 100,000 rupees, you have to spend 10,000 rupees for the paper advertisement. Then 100,000 minus 10,000, your net selling price is how much? 90,000 rupees. It is the scrap value, right? Okay, I think you understood. Now, straight line method. Remember, there are two methods of, not only two methods actually. In JAS syllabus, we discussed only one method of calculating depreciation. It is called straight line method. The other one is decline method. So there are more methods, but here we focus only the one method. It is straight line method, right? Before I go to the straight line method, I revise you the things. When we calculate depreciation, we have to consider main 3 points: cost of the property, residual value, and lifetime. What are they? Cost, residual value, lifetime. How do you calculate the depreciation? Cost minus residual value divided by lifetime. Then you can calculate annual depreciation using that formula, right? Okay. Now, straight line method. Depreciable value means the value after deduction of residual value from the cost of the property. Depreciable value, cost minus residual value. I can add some details here, right? You imagine the cost of a certain property, you think 10,000, okay, 10,000. Residual value is given, the question will provide 2,000. Then how much the depreciable value? Depreciable value is how much? 8,000. 8,000. Right? Straight line method. Straight line, you know, straight line. Straight line. Right? Same line. Straight line. Same line. Right? Then Straight line method means write off equal amount of depreciation for each year until finishes its effective lifetime. Here depreciable value is considered. Yeah, depreciation equal cost minus residual value divided by lifetime, right? If not, sometimes they will give a percentage on cost, then you can calculate the same amount of depreciation for each year if they will give the percentage, right? These two methods can be used, right? Depreciation, cost minus residual value into annual depreciation percentage. If you want, you can write down the details, right? It's very important to you. Now, cost of the motor vehicle is 800,000 and residual value is 300,000. Effective lifetime 5 years. Calculate annual depreciation, right? Annual depreciation. Do you remember the formula? What's the formula? Cost minus residual value divided by lifetime. Then you can find annual depreciation, right? Now, cost, right? The cost is how much? I'll do under this. Then you can easy to collect the details, right? Now depreciation, right? Depreciation. How do you calculate depreciation? Equal cost minus residual value, if not scrap value, right? Scrap value divided by lifetime. Okay. Now say, tell me the cost 800,000. Residual value 300,000. You minus it. You remove residual value. Divided by lifetime. How many years? 5 years. Now see the answer. 800,000 minus 300,000. Then answer is 500,000. 500,000 divided by 5. 1 year depreciation. How much? Annually, you remove annually, your depreciation expense is 100,000 rupees. 100,000 rupees. Right? Now, remember, annual 1 year portion is 100,000. I'll analyze now this, right? I'll analyze now. Wait. Annually you 100,000 rupees allocate as depreciation. How many years you do this one? 5 years. The total depreciable value is how much? 500,000 is the depreciable value. Actually, how much the cost of the property? 800,000. But we depreciated only 500,000 rupees. Why? The question is given what? 300,000 worth of residual value is there. Scrap value is there. Scrap value means at the end of the lifetime, market value of the remaining parts. Then, see here, after calculating the depreciation for the 5 years, we got the answer 500,000. Remaining parts how much? Remaining residual value how much? 300,000. Yeah, then you add these two. Then how much the answer? 800,000. Now, okay, no? This is the cost. Got it or not? Got it or not? Remember, generally, cost minus residual value means from the cost you remove the remaining parts at the end of the lifetime. residual value. We remove. Why we remove? Because we can sell them at the end of the lifetime, right? We didn't use them. Effectively, we can't use them, right? So, effectively, how much the value we can use? Only the depreciable value. Depreciable value, how do you calculate? Cost minus residual value, right? Cost minus residual value, 800,000 minus 300,000. See above. See above. Cost minus residual, 800,000 minus 300,000. 800,000 minus 300,000 divided by lifetime. Then depreciable value is how much? Depreciable value is 500,000. This is the value we can use out of this machine. Even though the value is cost is 800,000, we can use only the 500,000 at the end of the lifetime. 300,000 worth of parts is available. We can sell them in the market for 300,000 rupees. Right? Then 500,000 minus 500,000 is the 1 year depreciation. Second year, the total 200,000. When we go to the third year, that year also 100,000. How many years? 300,000. When we go to the fourth year, that year also 100,000. How many total? 400,000. When we go to the last year, why lifetime is 5. Fifth one year also we allocate 100,000. 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. How many times? 5 times. Then at the end of the lifetime, 500,000 worth of depreciation we allocated. Now, the remaining parts of the vehicle or that machine, 300,000. Then 500,000 plus the residual value of 300,000, we can calculate the cost. Right? If you want, I can show you now how to distribute, how to categorize the total cost. Total cost is 800,000. Right? From this 300,000 we remove. What is this? It is residual value, right? Other value is what? 500,000. What is? It is depreciable value. Depreciable value. Right? Then tell me how to calculate depreciable value. Depreciable value is calculated cost minus residual value. Then depreciable value you break into number of years effective lifetime, then 1 year portion you can calculate. Right? Now, go to the next slide. Cost of the machinery is 300,000 rupees. Residual value 60,000. Effective lifetime is 8 years. Calculate annual depreciation. Not only this annual depreciation, now we will do how to record them in the financial statements, how we record them in the general journal and ledger accounts also. Right? Okay. Now, first we calculate the annual depreciation. Annual depreciation. Right? What is the formula? Formula comes like this. What? Depreciation equal cost minus residual value divided by lifetime. Right? Then cost is how much? 300,000. Cost is 300,000. Residual value 60,000. How many years? Lifetime. How many years? 8 years. 8 years. Now we see. Calculate. 240,000. What is this? You know this now. We give a word for this. Depreciable value. divided by lifetime. How much annual depreciation? 30,000. 30,000 is the annually depreciation. Annually depreciation is 30,000. 30,000, right? Now, we can record this annual depreciation amount in the general journal, and we can post them to the ledger accounts also, to the ledger accounts, right? And we have to record them in the financial statements also, financial statements, right? Now I draw general journal first, after that ledger accounts, after that financial statement, extract of financial statement, date, journal voucher, description, ledger folio, debit and credit. This is general journal, right? We have to draw two accounts, date, description, ledger folio value, date, description, ledger folio value. Next ledger accounts also to be draw, date, description, ledger folio value, date, description, ledger folio value. Now extract of financial statement, extract of financial statements. First we record this in the profit and loss statement, the other one we record in the statement of financial position. Here you remember where we record the non-current assets, 3 columns to be draw, right? Non-current assets, remember? Statement of financial position, statement of financial position, statement of financial position. Then non-current assets, I use short word here, right, to manage the space, right? Cost, you remember cost column. After that you can see accumulated, ACC means accumulated, depre means depreciation, right? Net book value, NBV, right? Here profit and loss statement. You got the question now. Before you go to the question, it's easy to name them, no? So you name the accounts. Yeah, this is provision for depreciation account, provision for depreciation account. Date, description, ledger folio value. Value or cash, same thing, right? Date, description, ledger folio value. Here date, description, ledger folio value, date, description, ledger folio value, right? Here you write depreciation account, machinery depreciation. Machinery depreciation, provision for machinery depreciation. I put here provision for depreciation, but you mention provision for machinery depreciation. If it is a computer, provision for computer depreciation. If it is a building, provision for building depreciation. If it is an equipment, provision for equipment depreciation, like, right? Okay. You name the general journal also. It's very easy for us now. General journal. General journal. Date, journal voucher, description, ledger folio, debit and credit. Okay. Now remember this. Now you want to record annual depreciation. Sometime they may give a balance for the provision for depreciation account. Generally, provision for depreciation account balance indicate in the credit side of the account. Credit side of the account. Now, in this question, they didn't mention about the provision for depreciation. So, we don't write anything in the provision for depreciation account as opening balance, but we have to calculate annual depreciation. And remember, what's a double entry? Double entry comes like this: depreciation account debit, provision for depreciation account credit. Depreciation account debit, provision for depreciation account credit. I think you remember at the beginning when I start the depreciation adjustment first slide, in the second slide you saw the double entry. Depreciation account debit, provision for depreciation account credit. Here machinery depreciation account debit, provision for machinery depreciation account credit. How much the value? How much? 30,000. We found it, right? Now see, we do this one at 31st on 31st. Machinery depreciation account debit 12/31st. We write provision for machinery depreciation. How much? 30,000. Machinery depreciation account debit, provision for machinery depreciation account credit as machinery depreciation. Right? The date is 12/31st. Remember, after recording the details in the ledgers as previous activities, what you want to do? We want to balance off, right? Then you balance off. How do you do the balance? Like this. Like this. Like this. We have to get the balance now, no? Yeah. Now, 30,000, 30,000, 30,000. Yeah. Depreciation is an expense. You remember when we draw the profit and loss statement without adjustments, we enter the depreciation under the profit and loss expenses category, right? So 30,000 in front of the 30,000, you know, we transfer all income and expenses to the profit and loss statement, right? Here 30,000, 30,000. You never post these values to the profit and loss statement on income and expenses. This is provision for depreciation, means accumulated depreciation. When we come to the next year portion also to be added to this. When we go to the next year end, now this year 30,000, the next year portion, this year 30,000, next year 30,000, then total will be 60,000, right? We added, so accumulated. Then remember accumulated depreciation, where you can see we write here balance carried down, balance brought forward 30,000, right? So this final balance we take this answer, we write under the accumulated depreciation column in the statement of financial position. But wait for a 1 minute to record them where? In the general journal, right? Now you enter the details in the general journal. How do you write? Machine 1231st, 1231st, machinery depreciation, machinery depreciation account debit, how much? 30,000. Provision for machinery depreciation, I use short words, provision for machinery depreciation, right? This account credit 30,000. Now you write the narration, recording of, if not recorded, annual machinery depreciation, machinery depreciation of 30,000. Yeah, it's finished, right? Now we enter the details in the ledger accounts and general journal. Now finally we bring them to the financial statements. You know, this is machinery depreciation, but vehicle depreciation we can write under the distributing expense category, but this is machinery depreciation, so it comes under the administration expense. Administration expense, you write annual depreciation, what? Machinery depre, how much? 30,000. That's finished. Under the non-current assets, you remember here you put machinery, right? How much the cost? Do you remember? Remember the cost? 800,000, no? At the beginning it had how much? 800,000. Yeah. Cost is 800,000. Oh, 300,000. No, 300,000. No. Yeah. 300,000 minus 60,000. No. Yeah. 300,000. Cost 300,000. Cost you say 300,000. Cost 300,000. How much the depreciation accumulated? 30,000. Here to 70,000. This is the way. When we go to the next year, actually cost never changed, 300,000, but accumulated depreciation how much? It will be 60,000. Why? Next year depreciation also to be added to this, right? Then 60,000, 300,000, 60,000, then it becomes 240,000. That is the way, right? I think you understood well. Today we have discussed about bad debts and depreciation. Under the bad debts, we discuss how to record the bad debts in the general journal, ledger accounts, and extract of financial statements. Under the depreciation, we discussed definition, cost, residual value, and lifetime, straight line method, and how to calculate the depreciation, and how to record the depreciations in the ledger accounts and financial statements. Today, I am going to finish. In the next video, we can discuss deeply about the adjustment.